Hello everyone, a very pleasant day to you. Here are the top stories this hour. NEC approves 100 billion for rehabilitation of security training institutions in Nigeria. Police rescue 5 abducted Rivers State University students. The foreign scene hex-set staying power is rooted in Trump's convention busting ethos. A very good day to you and welcome to Impact News Hour on First Next News Port Harcourt. I am Becky Usoro. Now the news in details. The National Economic Council, NEC, has approved 100 billion naira for the rehabilitation of training institutions for the police and other security agencies across Nigeria, subject to final ratification by President Bola Tinubu. This followed recommendation by the ad hoc committee earlier constituted to assess the state of police and security agencies, training institutions nationwide. At its 154th meeting held virtually on Wednesday, NEC also approved the sum of 2.6 billion naira for consultancy services for the project. President Tinubu had, at the 152nd meeting of the NEC in October, proposed the overhaul and revamp of training institutions for security agencies nationwide. Chairman of the ad hoc committee, Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State, had in his presentation to Council underscored the urgency and significance of the condition of the training facilities, saying most of the training institutions are in their condition. Vice President Shetima also charged governors of the 36 states of the Federation to ensure that economic reforms by the state governments translate into clear, measurable improvements in the lives of Nigerians. Moving on to Rivers State, 5 students of Rivers State University in Polu, Oroworoko, Port Harcourt, who were abducted from the institution's satellite campus in Emoha local government area on Tuesday, have regained their freedom. The incident sparked widespread panic among students and triggered a protest, during which they demanded that the school management relocate them to the main campus for safety. Addressing the aggrieved students on Tuesday, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Isaac Zeb Obibi, announced the temporary suspension of academic activities at the Emoha campus and instructed all students residing there to vacate the premises until further notice. Confirming the development on Thursday, the spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace Irenge Koko, said the 5 abducted students were rescued unharmed during an operation carried out by police tactical teams and other security agencies at Rumodogo. In a statement, Irenge Koko disclosed that the rescued undergraduates, one of whom is a female, have been taken to hospital for medical evaluation. She added that efforts are ongoing to apprehend the fleeing kidnappers. You are listening to Impact News Hour on First Next News Port Harcourt. Let's go for a short break and return bring to you more details on foreign news, business and sports. Please stay with us. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Impact News Hour on First Next News Port Harcourt. We now bring you the rest of the news. We now move on to the foreign news. The New York Times is suing the Department of Defense over the Pentagon's new restrictions on press access. The lawsuit, set to be filed in federal court in Washington, D.C., names the Defense Department's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell as defendants. The lawsuit seeks the repeal of a new policy instituted in October that prompted Pentagon beat reporters to turn in their press passes rather than sign on to the restrictions. The police say the policy is an attempt to exert control over reporting the government's dislikes in violation of a free press right to seek information under their First and Fifth Amendment rights protected by the Constitution. The Times intends to vigorously defend against the violation of these rights, just as we have long done throughout administrations, opposed to scrutiny and accountability, he added. And now on business news, money market rates move in split directions despite higher system liquidity. Correspondent King Sojalo brings more details on this.
Nigeria's money market recorded mixed movement across key short-term interest rates on Tuesday, even as overall liquidity levels in the financial system rose sharply due to substantial inflows. Short-term benchmark interest rates have remained below 23%, following the adjustment to the asymmetric corridor around the monetary policy rate introduced in November. Despite elevated liquidity, rate movement continues to show divergences across several tenors. Market liquidity opens with a surplus of 3 trillion naira, an increase of 847.7 billion from the previous day, driven largely by a 772.9 billion naira OMO maturity and a 10.2 billion bond coupon inflow, according to figures from Elco Capital Limited. Deposit Money Bank have also reduced placement at the Central Bank Standing Deposit Facility SDF following a rate adjustment from 24.50% down to 22.50%. Total placement at the window splitted by 0.2% to 1.99 trillion naira. Analysis noted that banks may continue adjusting positions intermittently as they assess opportunity to increase treasury-related investment. I am Kings Ojalo.
Thank you, Kings Ojalo, for that details. And now on sports, FIFA announces December 15th as release date for AFCON players. Correspondent Precious Okoro brings more details on this.
FIFA has confirmed December 15th as official release date for players heading to the 2025 African Cup of Nations, offering relief to clubs across Europe who have expressed concerns about losing key players too early in the season. The new date gives an additional week with the African international before they report to the national team for pre-tournament preparation. The decisions follow discussion between FIFA, the Confederation of African Football (CAF), and various stakeholders, aiming to balance commitment with national team's duty. The African Cup of Nations, scheduled to hold in Morocco, will bring together top national teams of football most anticipated tournaments. The ruling of Super Eagles stars such as Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, Samuel Chukwueze, Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, and others expected at the tournament in Morocco will be available for club duty deep in the festive fixture schedule. Clubs such as Galatasaray, Liverpool, and many others are expected to lose influential African players to the tournament. I am Precious Okoro.
Thank you, Precious, for those details on sports news. That's all on the news this hour. To end Impact News Hour on Firstness News Port Harcourt, here are the recap of the stories so far. Brought to you, the NEC approves 100 billion naira for rehabilitation of security training institutions in Nigeria. And also, police rescue 5 abducted River State University students. On the foreign scene, Hexet staying power is rooted in Trump's convention busting ethos. In business, money market rates move in split directions despite higher system liquidity. And in sports, FIFA announces December 15th as release dates for AFCON players. Do remember, democracy is the only system that persists in asking the powers that be whether they are the powers that ought to be. For comments, suggestions, and eyewitness reports, email us at firstnextofficial@gmail.com. You can call us on 091 6307 9416. I am Becky Usora from I and the entire team in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.